What's up, guys? It's Jay with Bearded Dad Fishing, and if you own an Old Town Sportsman PDL 106 or 120, then you know that it's an amazing kayak. Its stability, durability, and performance is the cream of the crop. Now that said, there are some accessories out there that make it an even better kayak. So I'm gonna share with you guys some of my favorite upgrades that you should do ASAP. But first, dad joke of the day: how do you make a tissue dance? You put a little boogie in it. And that dad joke is brought to us by Eric Harsh of the Facebook group Kayak Fishing Dads. Now, the first upgrade to your kayak is something that you probably want to get done as soon as possible, and that is seat risers for your kayak. As you can see here, I have a DIY seat riser. It's a 2x4 zip tied to my chair and spray painted black. Now, the fact that I spray painted it just makes it look better and it doesn't stick out like an old piece of wood. However, if you want to get nicer ones, you can certainly buy ones that are 3D printed and look a lot cleaner than this piece of wood right here. As you guys will see, most of these upgrades are going to come from Navarre Kayak Fishing. He has amazing stuff. Nick really comes up with some really great accessories specifically for the Old Town Sportsman kayaks. So you can get the seat risers on the front of your kayak and on the rear, and they come in different increments: 1 inch, 1.5, 2 inch. And what works for you is really going to depend on how high up you want to sit, how short or how tall you are. I like the seat risers because on the PDL, it takes a lot of pressure off your lower back. Since you're sitting up a little bit, I noticed that when my seat was down, I felt the pressure of pedaling on my lower back, and I really didn't like that. So I definitely recommend seat risers, and most people got them because it really makes a big difference. And the seat risers from Navarre Kayak Fishing will vary from 30 bucks to 40 bucks. Or if you want to do the free 99 version, do like I did, get 2x4 spray paint and zip ties, and boom, there you got it. And the next thing you should upgrade on your Old Town Sportsman PDL is the rudder. Now, in my humble opinion, I think the stock factory rudder that Old Town has is trash. It's terrible. It's flimsy. It bends. It doesn't hold the position. I don't like it at all. So I recommend changing it out. This is the aluminum rudder from Navarre Kayak Fishing. Heavy duty. As you can see, there's not much give to it. It's not flimsy. And installing it is really easy. I'm gonna link a video below on how Nick installed it, and he did a great job explaining how it works. It took me about 20 minutes to install it. It really wasn't very difficult, but the way it handles is so much different and better now with that replacement. I also recommend changing out the rudder pin. So you'll see right here, this is the rudder bolt, but this is where the pin was before that holds the rudder to the kayak. And the rudder pin is super loose and it wobbles and shakes and it doesn't hold the position. When you change it out to that bolt, it makes a world of difference. And the aluminum replacement rudder is just 50 bucks plus the $5 for that rudder bolt. You can't beat it. And my next upgrade for the Old Town Sportsman kayaks are the handle mounts, again by Navarre Kayak Fishing. Now, these handle mounts replace the factory handles, and it allows you to mount accessories on there. So right now I have the Yak Attack lock and load on here where I can put my fish finder, so that way the fish finder is right up close to me and not all the way in front on my rails. You can do a lot of cool things. You can add rod holders, you can add your fish finder, you can put whatever you want on there, keeping it close. And you can put it on either side. As if the side handle mounts weren't cool enough, Navarre Kayak Fishing also has the front handle mount as well. So it's an easy replacement. You just pop out those screws, put this one in, and you're ready to go. The cool thing about the front is that you can set it up with your GoPro and get a really cool view just like this while you're landing the big ones. And the handle mounts are just $25 each. Before we get to the next PDL upgrade, I want to thank the sponsors of this video, BetterHelp. Now give me a quick second before you decide to skip over this, because there's something I want to share with you guys. On this Old Town PDL, I have something very special, and that's the names of my grandfather Luis and my brother Papo. Now, 2020 was an ugly year for a lot of folks around the world. For me, November 2020 was my breaking point. Now, I was dealing with a lot of trials leading up to this year, but in November 2020, I lost my big brother Papo very unexpectedly, and my emotional health took a dive. This was the first time that I couldn't bottle up how I felt. I was either withdrawn and numb or pouring out my emotional hurt onto everyone else in my family. This was the first time I knew I needed to talk to someone, and I turned to therapy. It wasn't fast or easy, but eventually, with the help of my therapist, I was able to sort out the hurts and the grief and work through them individually. That's why I really believe in what BetterHelp brings to the table. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who has trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. The great thing is that you can do it all from your phone or a computer via phone calls, video chat, or messaging. Whatever works best for you. You can go to their website by using my link, betterhelp.com/beardedadfishing, and answer a few questions. BetterHelp will then match you with a professional therapist that fits your criteria, usually within 48 hours, so you can get started quickly. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I don't just push or promote companies for the sake of a sponsorship. So please check them out if you're going through a tough time, or if you just want to talk to someone who can point you in the right direction. Again, that's betterhelp.com/beardedadfishing, or choose Bearded Dad Fishing as sign up for a special discount on your first month. Now let's get back to these upgrades. And the next thing you should replace on your PDL are the gear tracks. Now I have both of my gear tracks replaced on either side. Now you can do a couple different things when it comes to replacing these. You can go with the aluminum version that some manufacturers sell, and those work great too. They're a little bit more heavy duty. The ones from Navarre Kayak Fishing are sleek. They are much heavier duty than the stock ones that come from Old Town, but they also have these cool tool holders as well. And the tool holders fit right over this pocket, so you can put your lip grips, your pliers, and you can leash it down. You can put whatever you want in there. As you can see, there's a lot less give on here than the gear tracks from Old Town. So definitely upgrade the gear tracks. The ones from Navarre Kayak Fishing is $75 for the pair. The next upgrade can be considered like a small thing, but it's one of the first things I did and I really like it. It is the PDL spacers. As you can see, I have it on either side, and the orange looks really clean, but they're also available in black as well. Now the point of these spacers right here is that if the drive is not completely centered where it ought to be, sometimes water comes up onto the deck and you get this weird wobble when you're pedaling. Now in my opinion, that should have been made from the factory with spacers or something to that degree, but they didn't, and I definitely recommend getting the spacers. It's only $21 for the pair. And the next upgrade for your Old Town Sportsman PDL is a floating prop nut. You might be asking yourself, why do you need a floating prop nut? Well, if you break your prop and you have to change it out when you're in the water, this one you can just unscrew with your hand, making your life so simple. Just like that, while you're sitting in your chair and you have your drive up, you can just easily screw this off with your hand and then change out your prop and then put this one back, and that's it. Super simple. It eliminates the need for any additional tools or anything else. Plus, on top of that, if you were to drop that in the water through your drive hole, it floats, so you don't have to worry about it. And the best part is they're only $25 and you get two of them, so you get a spare. Talking about prop nuts, you should always have an extra prop with you at all times. Never leave home without an extra prop, because you can easily break it when you're out on the water on something stupid, on a tree stump, on a boulder, whatever it is. Always have an extra prop with you. And while you're doing it, make sure you store it in a really cool way that's out of the way, like this. On the Old Town Sportsman, you know they have huge front hatches, and the best place to keep that extra prop is right on the inside of the lid. All you have to do is drill a hole on either side of the lid, throw on 2 zip ties, and that's it. Bingo bango, you got your extra prop and it's out of the way. And the extra props are only $12 each. And the next upgrade for your Old Town Sportsman is the scupper hole transducer mount. You're gonna want this if you have a fish finder on your kayak. There's a lot of different ways to mount your transducer. Some guys like to use the Yak Attack switchblade and have it hang over your kayak, but if you want to mount it onto your kayak, you'll know that these kayaks have a universal bracket on the bottom. However, the scupper plug mount from Navarre Kayak Fishing is one of the best options I've found. It keeps the transducer really tight up against the hull and reduces the exposure and the risk of getting it scratched up and scuffed up. The scupper transducer mount is located right behind the drive, and you'll see it right here. I have my transducer cable coming up through here and into the hole via a Yak Attack through hull kit. But this right here is a wing nut, the bolt, and the 3D piece of plastic that keeps the transducer up against the hole, which I'll show you right on the bottom right here. As you can see, that is the transducer. It's high, it's out of the way, and it's less likely to get scratched up that way. And since most of these transducers range from anywhere from $100 all the way to $500–600, it's a really good investment to protect it. And the scupper hole transducer mount from Navarre Kayak Fishing ranges from $35 to $45 depending on your transducer. The next upgrade for your Old Town Sportsman kayak is gonna be a keel guard. Now this is a DIY keel guard that I did myself about 2 years ago, but the point of this thing is to protect the kayak. It takes the brunt of the damage from doing any dragging, from hitting any rocks, from beaching, hitting the concrete ramps, all that stuff. You definitely want to get that to protect your kayak. If you have to replace the keel guard, that's fine. That's the point of it. It's kind of the sacrificial piece. I did a video a while back, which I'll link down below, on how I installed the keel guard on my Old Town Autopilot 136. Same process on the 120. It's super simple. If you get the keel guard kit from Navarre Kayak Fishing, it includes everything you need, including the alcohol prep pad, the marine goop, and everything, and it's only 40 bucks, and that's probably one of the best ways to protect your expensive investment. And the last upgrade for your Old Town Sportsman PDL is a really cool accessory that I really like. It's the PDL Drive track mount. Now this track mount allows you to do exactly that, mount anything you want on the PDL itself. So I have this paddle holder on there, but it allows you to put whatever. If you want to put a little GoPro stick there so you can put your GoPro, if you want to put a phone holder so that your phone's facing you for selfies, for phone calls, whatever it is, you could really do a lot with this. What I do is I keep this paddle holder right here, and I put my net across. So I got the net handle that fits right here into the paddle holder, and my net extends to the front, and this keeps my net right within the arm's reach whenever I need it. You could do a lot of really cool things and add a lot of different accessories on here, but it's pretty nifty, and I haven't seen anyone else really do something similar to that. And the PDL track mount is only $40 from Navarre Kayak Fishing. And I know I said that was the last upgrade, but I have one more for you guys because it's super important, and that is having a repair kit with you at all times. I don't know if you want to consider this an upgrade or not, but always have a repair kit with you because things could go wrong. It doesn't have to be fancy or elaborate. It just needs to be practical. So this is my repair kit. I have batteries for my Yak power controllers, zip ties. You need zip ties because most things you can fix temporarily with zip ties. I have cutters for trebles, split rings in case I hook myself. I have a marker, I have a screwdriver, electrical tape, an extra kill switch as well because I use this on my autopilot. So keep an extra kill switch if you have a motorized option. Allen keys, just kind of like a random assortment, but all super practical things. You just never want to be caught out on the water wishing you had that and you have to cut your day short. And if you thought this video was helpful, subscribe to the channel and check out this video right here. So till next time, guys, peace and God bless.